Hello, welcome to IG. I'm Angeline Ong, and at any moment we'll be joined by Anthony Batista from Tasty Live from Chicago. Here's your special look ahead to the coming week. Of course, it's all about NFPs and FOMC minutes, but ahead of that we have the Caixin manufacturing PMIs. The nationwide house price index comes in election week, so that will be pounced on as well. And not forgetting the consumer price index from Germany and manufacturing PMIs from the US as well. A little later on in the week, look out for the RBA minutes ahead of the FOMC. Consumer price index inflation is key in the Eurozone, given many central banks, including the ECB, says it's going to be data before they decide on monetary policy. Then look out for the job openings ahead of the non-farms on Friday. And on Wednesday, look out for Tankan out of Japan. The services PMIs out of China comes in the same week as manufacturing as well. And we have the ADP employment change along with factory orders. Those are the two key ones, along with initial jobless claims out of the US. Thursday, German factory orders. And of course, that UK general election will be key. We're now in that week where we can't talk about what either side is saying. However, polls are starting to narrow, and if you want further analysis on how to trade the UK election, do look up my name and whichever financial instrument you're trading, or YouTube as well, where I do shorts on the IG.com YouTube page. And on Friday, of course, it's that non-farm payrolls, which will be key, along with UK Halifax house price data and industrial production out of Germany. Now, without waiting any longer, let's cross live now to Chicago, where BAT is standing by. That's such a key week, especially with this melt-up still in play, especially with the Fed saying that data is key before it moves on interest rates. What are you expecting, and how do we trade those NFPs and FOMC minutes?
Yeah, a lot of questions there. What a market we're going to have in the coming days and weeks. Man, you've got elections everywhere across Europe, and now you've got the elections in the US percolating too. The only thing that's not percolating is volatility. Volatility at basically all-time lows here. I think that really sets us up for a reversal on volatility, to watch that percolate a little bit. If you see that percolate a little bit, I think you'll find stocks that have been leading this market, like the NASDAQ stocks, maybe going a little bit more sideways than they have been going up. And maybe stocks like, the oil-related field, ExxonMobil, and oil itself, which has caught a bid over the last couple of days and weeks, might continue with that type of rally, especially what you're seeing going on here in the US with our elections.
Really interesting that you also talk about Trump, because all I'm hearing from the trading desk here is, how do we trade the US election? How do we trade Trump in a time when I can tell you that Trump-related stocks have been looking at that. Trump Media and Technology, they've been rising. Funware, that's also been rising as well. And at the same time, it looks like there are questions now over whether or not Biden is going to make it to November. What's the mood like there?
Yeah, we don't have, as you do, the luxury of being able to really wager any bets on the elections as you can overseas in Europe. But we do have some small sites where they do look at what people's consensus are, and it looks like, from just on the last debate that we had, that Biden lost about 20% of even being the incumbent, even being the Republican, being the Democratic nominee. Now, he went from around 80% to around 65%. Gavin Newsom, which was basically dead in the water, gained a little bit, went up to around 20-ish percent. Man, it's sad when we're in a place like this, when we don't even have a Republican and Democratic know-alls to be in the market. I hate it when there's uncertainty like this. I don't think I've ever seen it in my lifetime.
What happens if we do see that we are going to potentially have a Trump, Trump
Well, I'm gonna
round
take you.
two?
I'm gonna take you.
How should investors, sort of hedge this and position themselves for, Trump second time round?
Well, I'm going to take the other side of the coin here because I think people would think it'll be very bearish for the market, regardless of whether Biden makes it to the elections or not, whether Trump wins or Biden wins or not. I think this market is independent to the political landscape that we've come to know here in the U.S. I think it will be really smooth sailing and an easy transition for the market, not necessarily for those in the political field, but definitely for the market. This market loves the unknown. When everything is known, that's when everything gets complacent. When you least expect it, expect it. When you're expecting something, it never seems to happen. So for me, I think that really Dow type stocks, which have been doing quite well, but not as well to stocks like the S&P 500, maybe those stocks might catch a little bit of a bid relative to the S&P 500, and they would be the leader as opposed to the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ.
Thanks very much, Bat there from Tasty Live in Chicago. Really exciting times on the election front, and it's even more exciting on the corporate front as well. Not quite earnings season yet, but we have a few of note. Sainsbury's trading statement, this is for the first quarter. That'll be interesting given that the cost of living crisis is still in play here, especially on the services front. So people are still spending, but really supported by the cheaper end. Sodexo's third quarter earnings, that's also on Tuesday. And then a little later, look out for Topps Tiles and Constellation Brands. Both those also related to consumer sentiment and also consumption strength. And that's the latest from us here at IG and also at Tasty. Do tune in to YouTube in the short section for more short-term trading strategies, or whichever financial instrument you're trading, look up that instrument with my name or Axel Rudolph or Chris Beecham. This is IG.